They feel awful when they're alone with their thoughts? Nope. You are not alone. Write a different story for your thoughts and choose that story every day. Harder than I just made it seem. I've ran out of ways to distract myself, so I sit with the thoughts and it just get worse. You're not alone. They say all the world's problems are caused because people cannot sit alone in a room with their own thoughts. You are not alone. Speak them out loud. To someone who listens and won't judge. You'll be amazed how much better you feel. Good luck. Not alone at all. Imposter syndrome can cause something like this, as can complex PTSD. Therapy could definitely help. But if that is not feasible due to health insurance or costs, I highly encourage you to look up YouTube videos for guided meditation. Don't be afraid to talk back to that voice. Challenge it. Speak back to it the way you would if it was an actual human saying those things to your face. Sending hugs from an internet stranger. Example, https://youtube.b/upldsp2sc. Men who insist the woman, partner gives them their card so it looks like they still paying the bill. Personally, I am old school. Believe in chivalry and all the good stuff. But this is my take on the subject. In this day and age, of emphasis has been placed on equality and rights between the sexes. If I invite a woman out anywhere to anything, I am unequivocally paying as I should. We are out by my invitation. If a woman invites me out, then I am not going to stop her from paying if she makes the gesture. I have asked, "Are you sure?" But I never feel any kind of way about it, nor am I embarrassed. When it does happen, I am actually impressed. But I always go prepared to pay either way. Ike about that, but literally the other day my husband and I went out for breakfast, and it was one of those places that you go up to the counter to pay after your meal. So we went up to the counter and my husband gave his card to pay, and the man at the counter looked right at me, asked if everything was okay, and gave me the receipt to sign and handed me the card and then said, "I hope you have a nice day, miss." My husband was very confused as the guy wouldn't even make eye contact with him, and also handed me his card. I just took it and gave it back to him outside. We share an account and get paid the same day, so either of us could have paid, but I'd what that was about. As a former server, as long as the CC clears and the tip is good, I could not care any less who pays. As a husband, I don't care if the expectation is that I pay the bill. If she is treating me, it should not say you're a failure. I see it more like, what did he do to get her to pick up the check? What's the opposite of the doghouse? Finally, I always find it funny when the wife picks up the tab, hands it to the server, and then they bring it back to me, like, "Thanks, but that's her card, you were going to get a good tip. But you made assumptions. JK, this would not affect their tip. They get a runny nose after eating? Gross, that's disgusting. Wow, ew. Yep. My husband every time. Happens to me if I eat too fast. Yes. I think it may have something to do with mild allergies. Only if it's super spicy. The phenomenon is called gustatory rhinitis and quat. It's a non-allergic condition usually caused by eating spicy food. I have a leaky pipe. Any change of slight draft across my eyes, or brighter change in lighting will cue that. Winter is a constant drip and I'm never without a snot rag. I've got pretty terrible sinus allergies and yeah lol. My wife gets it too, sadly. Always after eating chicken. Doesn't even have to be spicy. Not me personally. But that happens to mother often when she's eating. And pretty much 100% of the time when she has a meal in the evening. The type of food doesn't seem to matter. I have this exact same issue. It's with all food, every time I eat doesn't have to be spicy at all. Never had that issue until I got my septum pierced, and now it happens every single time. What are some rules of thumb to follow when in groups with your spouse? Greater than things like never talk down on your spouse. And quat, fi. Don't kill anybody unnecessarily. Don't explain that the phrase "the rule of thumb" originates from when it was legal for a man to beat his wife, as long as the rod was no thicker than his thumb. If you would feel disrespected if they did it to you, don't do it to them. Don't try to wife swap. Don't self-deprecate it. It's bad for your image, and insults her ability to pick the best guy she can get. If they are more introverted, maybe try to rope them in by setting them up for a story or something. Don't be too touchy-feely. Can make people feel uncomfortable. Probably just act like usual. If y'all got a good relationship, just don't talk about stuff her spouse don't feel comfortable with. You don't need a list, just be yourself and don't be in. If that's an issue, you might want to rethink how you treat your partner. Yeah, the never talking down is a good one. But really, if you follow some guidelines for a good relationship, that's enough. You two can still joke with each other. Otherwise, don't flirt too heavily. That gets people uncomfortable. What is something your partner does that you love/find adorable but they wouldn't want anyone to know about? We have this bit where if she audibly farts, she'll quickly look over at me wide-eyed as if checking to see if I heard, and then one of us comes up with the most ridiculous explanation for what the sound must have been that isn't A, and the other always agrees that that's what the sound must have been. Sometimes we'll also just turn to each other really fast if one of us audibly farts and then look around feigning confusion. Whenever I'm feeling down or overthinking, he will do something goofy like dance randomly or make silly faces. He'll do anything to make me crack a smile or laugh when he sees me in a mood. How much he likes watching sappy Christmas rom-coms with me. He always rolls his eyes and will poke fun at them. What? A single dad wearing plaid living in a small town whose wife died and swore he'd never love again but seems to be falling for the new girl to town? What a twist. But he still hands me the remote when he knows full well that's what I'm going to pick. It's even more amusing when we are at his parents' house. His mom will turn one on and his dad will leave the room, but he stays to watch with us. There's a lot of little things. He squishes my, because he likes it and I feel cozy when he does. He meows at me when he needs anything or is annoyed with me. He pretends to be a doggo and playfully licks a part of my body sometimes, not in a way. Just playful and cute. He would be super embarrassed if someone we know found out. But to me those are the cutest things ever. My husband and I sleep naked. Before he crawls into bed, he stands at the foot of the bed and flops his left to right and then helicopters it around until I look at him. Most of the time, I'm silently on my phone lying on my side. And then I hear skin flapping around. I know it's him. I turn around and smile and then he gets into bed.